Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and title this Super Sleuth Club, and this is card A. And so the first example, example A, in our notes is going to be 2 plus 2 parentheses 1 plus 4 parentheses. And since this is a new process, I always like to start with a little to-do list. G, M, A. And so the first thing I'm looking for are any grouping symbols. So as I scan my problem, I see the grouping symbols right here, the parentheses. And when I see my grouping symbols, I like to underline that piece because that's the piece I will solve first. So I'm going to solve 1 plus 4, and 1 plus 4 is 5. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what do you do with the rest of the information? The rest of the information is going to drop into place. The 2 is going to drop down, the addition sign is going to drop down, and the 2 is going to drop down. Now, one thing I need to put with the number 5 would be the parentheses. If I don't put the parentheses around the number 5, then it almost looks like I have the number 25, and that would be incorrect. We want to make sure that the 2 is separated from the number 5, and that we know that these two numbers will be multiplied together, not put together. So as I scan my problem, I'm done with my grouping symbols because yesterday we talked about ways to multiply. And so we know that there are 3 ways to multiply. 3 ways to multiply. We have the X, we have the dot, and then we have the parentheses. And so if I go back and I see that we have 2 and 5, that is multiplying when this is adding. So when I go to my M, which means multiplicative actions, we're going to underline 2 times 5. This will be our next piece. So what is 2 times 5? 2 times 5 is going to give you 10. And again, I'm just dropping things that are not underlined into place. I don't change the order. If I change the order, then that changes the problem and I will get the incorrect answer. So there are no more multiplicatives. In fact, there's just an addition sign left. So I'm ready to go to my next step, which is add. So I'm going to underline 2 plus 10. And 2 plus 10 is 12. And I'm going to box in my answer. I want you to notice a few things before I stop this video. I want you to notice how I did one step at a time, and only one step at a time is solved on each line. That is to create good habits, especially moving into middle school. Your teacher is going to want to look at each step. Another thing I want you to know is that I grade each step. So if you do something in your head but you forget to show me on paper, I will not be able to give you credit for that. So it is important that each step is put on paper for me to see. And lastly, I want you to notice how this piece, how this expression kind of looks like a piece of pizza. When you get done, your wide end that you started with should now look like an upside down triangle, because as we solve a step, that step disappears. Another thing I want you to notice before I go is there were 1, 2, 3 actions in this problem. One that was kind of invisible for us to see, but that means I have 3 lines for solving to get the right answer. Okay, meet me back for the next problem and we'll solve it together.